Amian, a lot of the problems that the Trump administration had to contend with were there before the coronavirus came along, including underfunded local public health departments. And even as the pandemic began, we saw science in progress in real time, watching it change. It's an iterative process. Did you at any point, when you look back, feel that the administration was wrongly blamed for things that would have been a real challenge? Structural deficits would have been a real challenge for any administration.
Absolutely. I mean, this was a completely, freak event. A virus. I mean, the nightmare scenario is to have a virus like this, a respiratory virus that spreads asymptomatically. So people are transporting the virus who don't know they're sick, and some people the virus would essentially suffocate, and some people it would pass through like a ghost. So this is an incredibly challenging virus to stop, and we're seeing still in so many countries it's creating huge problems. And so I think a lot of people, frankly, President Trump's approval rating in late March was quite high when there was a lot of fear. People were looking to him for leadership, and he was doing those daily briefings. And I think a lot of people felt like he was on top of things, and it was under control. There maybe was this kind of grace period when the country did kind of rally together and think, all right, we're faced with a challenge. We can do this. We've been through challenges before. But what happened was, the way that science was severed from policy, the way that the politics were infused into these decisions, especially I think beginning in April and picking up in May. And then in June, obviously, Vice President Pence writes the op-ed, there will not be a second wave. And then that was when the second wave began. I mean, I think when it became clear that the White House was not interested in focusing on some of these really core scientific discoveries, that's when things really went off the rails. And what became really dangerous was when the country split in half, and when half the country believed everything the president said and half the country wouldn't believe a word he said. Then you're in a situation like we saw in October, November, December, when the virus is just kind of mowing the country down and no one knows who to believe, and there's just kind of fear everywhere.